doing? Hi everybody, welcome back to my wee channel. Thanks for popping in for a look. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. I'm outside Loch Lomond National Park, just on the fringes of it, and I've come up for a wee school night camp as they call it, just a wee reset very quickly overnight. A chance to recharge the batteries and a chance to try the Crux tent and spend a few hours in it, because actually I've not had a good chance to crit it and get used to it. So this is just going to be a acclimatisation to this wee tent, see how I get on, see what I like and see what I don't like. So it is, what time is it? 5 to 6, so I'm just thinking about getting some dinner on. It's going to be short and sweet overnight and then back to work tomorrow. But this will give me a good chance just to get to grips with this tent. A couple of quick observations now that I've pitched it and sat in it for a wee while. The door design with the centre zip, it's quite nice when you're in it and it's sheltered for cooking and it really takes the wind off you. But it does limit your access a wee bit. It just kind of rubs and your head catches in it slightly. Just a minor kind of thing. I maybe prefer a zip down one side and then for it to peel back. One of the other things that maybe concerns me is this length of fabric here. It's very unsupported. There's no pull out here. It's almost like it could do with another triangular guy going off to the middle, or a separate guy. I know it'll add weight and I know it'll add complexity, and also the back is unsupported. A lot of the assault tents I've had before have one guy coming off the middle just to stop that caving in on your feet or your head. Anyway, just a couple of minor things. It went up very quickly, pleased with it, nice and light, very roomy for one, tight for two. Stunning night though. So I came from the village of Clare down here below me. I don't know, it's about 500,000 foot below me. That's Loch Lomond in the distance there, the Arrochar Alps. And on the right, Ben Lomond. So yeah, it's a lovely area, and I'm facing north. I was just hoping we might get a Northern Lights alert, because it would be a good spot to see it. It's going to be a cold one tonight. I'm glad I went for the Xtherm, and I've gone for my winter sleeping bag, the MacPack XP 700 down bag. Down might be a bit of a risk in this, you would think, but hopefully this single skin carbon coated breathable outer fabric will work, and there'll be no serious condensation or dripping. I've just put a candle on just to give us a wee bit of heat and ambience. The only thing is it's one of these highly perfumed ones and it's stinking the tent out. There's not a lot of space. So far so good. I've been about an hour and a half inside the tent. I had it all zipped up, quite warm with the candle on. The rear vent is extremely effective. I've actually closed it because it sucks so much air in, scoops it through the hood and shoots it across the top of the tent. So actually I'm just using it closed and there's still a kind of air coming through the polyester. Just a slight drumming noise off the wind and a slight movement in the poles, a wee bit of creaking and the kind of fairly stiff breeze outside. But yeah, so far so good, and it does give me quite a lot of headroom. Yeah, it makes it quite comfortable sitting about. There's plenty of headroom at the front to cook and just to sit around and drink, eat food when the door's closed up. Yeah, so in terms of an assault tent, it is a good design. It's much more like a traditional backpacking tent and a more usable high space. So I just heard the forecast there. It's meant to be about -3 tonight and still, but it's still quite breezy outside. If it drops off, I'll get a fire on. But at the moment I'm hiding in here because the wind is just shocking when you're out there. It's really cold. The fabric seems to be working well. It's absorbing all the moisture. I can see wee traces of condensation on the poles and on the taping, but the main fabric itself is doing the job at the moment. I'm lying in here with a sleeping bag over me because it is so cold. Once it's over me it's fine, but I wouldn't want to be sitting without it. I don't know if you can hear the wind outside, but the difference I think with a tent with such a thick fly sheet is it's very quiet in the wind, and this is quite a streamlined shape as well, so I'm sort of off centre but tail into wind, so we're not quite at optimum pitch, but it is it's peaceful, it's quiet, it's like the Rab. These thick fabrics I much prefer to Silver Island, I have to say. Silver Island is damn noisy. The fabric is dry. That's dry as a bone, and then if I touch the tape it's actually wet, because obviously being waterproof, even though it's got the carbon print on it, it can't transfer through the fabric. And the other part of that is the pole. So the pole is very wet. There's actually, as you go up here, there's drips above me just on the pole. They've not actually dripped, but they're just sitting in beads on it. Right, absolutely freezing out here. I've done some shots, I'm going to head in. It's getting really cold. So before I go to my bed, a couple of things worth mentioning. Opened the door from the top and opened those Velcro flaps, and I was able to step straight into the vestibule, which was a lot easier. Saves me undoing all the catches at the bottom. And the other thing is this vent, which can't be closed, this mesh on the door, surprisingly has been draft free despite the blowing wind outside. So I'm pleasantly surprised by that, because I really thought that was going to annoy me, but I don't feel any cold air rushing through it. Right, we'll get a hot water bottle on, get into bed and have an early night. I actually got a message from somebody saying that lights had been spotted on the hill. But luckily they've explained to whoever it was that was asking that it's me, and hopefully there'll be no rescue in the middle of the night. Anyway, off to bed, and I will see you guys in the morning. Morning everybody, it's about 6:10. We've taken an absolute beating last night. It was actually really windy, it's still very windy, much more so than forecast. Anyway, the tent has proven to be very wind slippery and very stable. hear the kind of gusts that are coming through, and they seem to be side on, so it's taking a bit of a rattling. So it's not been the best sleep in the world, but it's certainly been a good test of the stability of the tent. What a brutal night that was. Anyway, time for a quick coffee and some breakfast and a sharp exit. Let's get out of here. Okay everybody, thanks again for watching. That was a great wee test of the tent. Very comfortable. One observation I think is that sidewall. It could maybe just do with a couple of pull outs on either side. As you'll see in the video, the wind tacked during the night. It was probably gale force, 30-35 mile an hour, and it was encroaching on the tent, but the tent frame itself was very stable. Anyway, it's between shifts, as I say. I'm just going to head down now, head back to work. It is about 8 o'clock. So I should be back at my desk by about 9. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you out there again for the next one.